brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas, and I had two shows running at the same time, so that's why there was a little interference there. I'm sorry about that. I try to keep open so I can watch for other questions that may come up, and we have wonderful guests on this show, and my wonderful guest today is Tom Paladino, who works with Scalar Light, which is another no-drug healing modality. And I think that's wonderful. And let me bring him on. Welcome, Tom.
Hi, Gail. Pleasure to be back here.
What are you up to? I haven't seen you for quite a while.
Busy, as I'm sure you've been, but making progress. That's what's going on.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, I have the reason I picked the picture that we have is you wanted to talk about a cat that you had been working with, isn't it? And I can bring a picture of the cat up if you want me to. Okay.
Go ahead.
Hang on a little second and go ahead and explain a little bit about it if you want to while I'm finding the picture. I had it up and then I took it down.
We will speak today about healing through the quantum field, through scalar light. Scalar light is the life force energy. It's the energy of the sun and the stars. And when I work with this energy, it's unique because I don't work with people in person. I work with their energy field. So this per se is drug-free. It's medical-free. It's, if you will, non-physical intelligence. That's what I'm working with. This is a new branch of physics. Now, recently we've developed a program in which we can enhance this healing capacity. It's all non-physical energy, the energy of the sun and the stars. So we don't use chemicals. We work with people and animals by way of their photographs. Now, what I'm showing you is a cat that at one time had a tumor. And after working with this cat with scalar light through the photograph of the cat, I understand that the tumor is shrinking and it's finally starting to scab over. Now, you might say, how is that possible? Well, this is the new science of quantum, in which a photograph represents a person or a photograph represents a cat. That photograph of the cat has an energy signal. So I never work with people. I work with photographs of people or photographs of animals that has a signal of that animal or that person. And we're very successful. And the reason we're so successful with this type of modality is we don't work with the physical person or the physical animal. We work with their energy field. It's much easier to enhance the energy field than it is to work with a person in the flesh.
I have a big question for you, Tom, and I know you can probably explain this. We have what is a bioelectric field around us, also known as our aura.
Yeah.
How is that? Yeah. How is scalar and bioelectric different, and how does one impact the other, and that kind of thing?
Well, that's what I access, but the aura to me is a scalar dimension. It's not electricity. So that's what I'm working with. When a person sends me a photograph or I have a photograph of an animal, I access the signature or the aura of the person or the animal. Now, that's so important. Why? Because it's always drug-free. It's always, if you will, without any biological consequence. We don't work with brick and mortar, so to speak. We don't work with flesh and blood. We work in the realm of quantum. Everything I do is non-physical. It's energy. It's information. And that's why a photograph of a person or an animal carries their information. So this is the new field, the new science of scalar light, scalar energy, in which we work with force fields or auras.
That's awesome. And look, we got some awake people in our audience. Photographs carry an energy signature, and that's exactly what you're talking about, isn't it?
That's correct. That's correct. My photograph, anybody's photograph, carries their signature. Okay, it's a light signature. So this is the easy way of doing things. I never work in person. I've never worked with a human being in my life. I work with photographs because that's of a higher order, and that's the angelic realm, or that realm of aura. It's so important to distinguish that we can work at that realm of non-physicality and produce favorable results.
It is my understanding that that aura field, that is directly, it's like our soul signature, our spiritual signature. There's a lot to it.
That's correct. It's our blueprint. It's our energy field. It's our blueprint. You know, consider when you're going to build a building, you start with architectural plans. You have blueprints. Well, you just don't start building. So what is a photograph? It's my blueprints. These are my architectural plans. And whatever I put into the architectural plans, that indeed is realized because I'm working at the level of intelligence, at the level of information. Very exciting.
Fascinating. Now, here's an interesting question. I'm going to let you answer this one. Is that similar to how witchcraft and casting would use a photo of the target?
Yeah, it is. Why? Because we're working in the realm of non-physicality, in the realm of spirit. So if you're a good person, you're going to work with the spirit of Christ. If you're an evil person, you're going to work for evil ends. But that is accurate. This is the realm of spirit. This is non-physical. The aura is a person's makeup, their non-physical makeup. And so what you do with that is very important, to work in harmony with God and for the person's betterment. That's a good question.
Thank you. Well, I've had, I work with a psychic now and then too, and they want to see a picture of the person too, because they get a reading from the picture from spirit to them, according, so that's pretty cool. Jenny Lee is like that. Now, somebody says, I wonder if that would include AI generated photos, or photos not taken by human beings, or if the person isn't a human being. Can you tell that, Tom?
The energy can. Now, when I actually place a person's photograph inside the instrument, behind me is a scalar energy instrument. So the energy does all the work. There's no human interpretation, to be very clear to your audience. So when somebody will send me their photograph, I place it inside the instrument. The instrument, the energy, looks at the photograph and knows who they are. Valid photograph. The energy will be sent to your aura. If this is if you will, computer graphic, nothing will happen, because we are not made out of a computer graphic. You actually need a photograph, a valid photograph of a person. That's a good question.
Yeah. Oh, somebody's asking too, or somebody said Alobar Jones always looks at a photo before contacting people. What is it? Some people are able to look at this and see something about the energy signature. That's pretty fascinating.
I think that's fascinating too. There are people who have that psychic ability. They can look at a photograph, and the photograph shows their aura, or shows what some people call the Akashic record. Now that's a supernatural ability. So I would have to, ask that person, how did you achieve that supernatural power? But without distinction, any photograph carries a person's blueprint, or their signature, or their aura. Now, the way I access that is with an instrument, which is, if you will, objective. The energy is objective. Why? It's the energy of the sun and the stars. There's no human reasoning on my part. So I work with energy instruments, and that way my work is foolproof, because the energy does the work. There's no human interpretation.
All right. Well, Jay Thought has another good question. Oh, wait a minute. I skipped it. I missed it. Let me get this one first. Okay. This is, can any part of this process be hijacked or taken over? Can mistakes be made?
No, and I'll tell you why. That's a very excellent question, because I only rely upon the instrument. I'm going to demonstrate this instrument is operating. This is the instrument. I'll point it out to the audience. And these are 2 Tesla coils that broadcast the energy. Now, the energy is so strong it can illuminate a light bulb in my
Let
hand.
me bring this back. Oops. Let me fix this. There.
So that's
There.
objective energy, if you will. That's scalar energy, the first principle, illuminating a light bulb in my hand. Now, to answer the question, since I work with energy instruments, I don't interpret the energy. Energy is fundamental. So with that in mind, nothing can hijack this. The energy is immutable. It follows the laws of science. That's a good question.
Wow. Okay. Here's another one more. We have an interactive audience here, and I'm
Yes.
happy they're asking you
That's
questions. Does your scalar light work on the light bodies?
Yes, that's all it is. Very good. My photograph has a light body, an aura. I don't work with people in the flesh because that would be biological. I work with photographs that has the light body, that has the signature. There is energy, light on my photograph. That's what I access. So I'm working at the non-physical realm. I'm not working at the chemical realm. Good question.
Now, does that work if, let's say, you have an older picture versus a brand new picture? Does it make a difference?
It does not. Another brilliant question. Why? A photograph carries a person's signature. Regardless of my age now, regardless of the age of the photograph, there is a connection. So my photograph could be 5 years old. It still reports who I am today.
Awesome. Okay. Now, Jay Thought has another good question. We're getting some good questions, Tom. Okay.
Yes.
What about frequent calibration? Do you need to tune it?
No. Very good question. Why? Because the energy is from the sun and the star. I literally don't have to tune this instrument at all. I place my photograph or a person's photograph inside the instrument. The energy coming off that instrument will automatically give a chakra balancing. I'm going to show what I mean. Again, a light bulb can be illuminated. Well, when I place a person's photograph inside the instrument,
It still lights it up.
it's still exactly. That's a chakra balancing. Everybody is now experiencing on that collage a chakra balancing. If I can light up a light bulb, I can light up a brainwave or a person's 7 chakras. So the key
That's
is,
awesome.
yes, the key is when you work with energy, it's fundamental. Energy never makes a mistake. Energy follows the immutable laws of science. Again, if this instrument is so strong, it can illuminate a light bulb. Well, that's what will happen with a person's chakras.
Wow.
That's why it works. There's no human reasoning. These are good questions. No human reasoning. The energy does the work. The animating force is scalar light.
And I've heard you refer to scalar light as divine intelligence.
Yes.
Would you explain that
Yeah.
a little bit?
Well, I believe scalar light is the cause of creation. So how does God operate? Through light, divine intelligence. And that's what I'm working with. This is not electricity. These are not magnetic instruments. This is divine intelligence. And in so doing, I've had great success with this to help people heal soul, mind, and body. How? Because the energy is so enhanced, it's divine intelligence. It can heal soul, mind, and body.
All right. Well, we got another good question for you. Hi, Gail and Tom. Is this the same as Tesla wireless energy?
Yes, it is Tesla wireless energy. These are Tesla instruments. This is why I can work with people around the world through a photograph, and I can access their energy code. Now, once the energy leaves my laboratory, there are no wires, there are no satellites. The ether is the medium. There's an immediate connection. I don't have to build a grid system. The grid system pre-exists. That's what I access.
That's fascinating. Now, you can do a group of people on
Yes. Yeah.
with one picture, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I can work with people by way of their photograph. Today in my lab, earlier in my lab today, I was working with 500,000 photographs because we're working at the etheric level, not at the biological level. And all of my work is with consciousness or the energy fields on photographs. So this is a new branch of science. You don't come to my laboratory. This is not a one-on-one session. I don't work with the biological body. I work with the energetic body, which is found, or if you will, bilocates to me by way of a photograph.
Now, when you work with the etheric body, the spirit body, doesn't that, just by enhancing and working with that, doesn't that give the body the energy that it needs to be able to correct any, some of the problems in
Yes.
the biological body?
Yes, it does on its own. So the energy is self-directed. That's why I use the term divine intelligence. It's not my intelligence. That would be human intelligence. No, I work with energy from the sun and the stars. This is a first principle, and the energy in and of itself corrects. This is what I like about my work. The energy's natural from the sun and the stars. It automatically corrects or heals soul, mind, and body. There's no human interpretation, no room for a biochemical reaction. Why? It's not biochemistry. No human being is involved. An aura cannot have a biological consequence, a biological reaction. My photograph cannot have an allergic reaction.
Yeah, that's a good one, because we have a lot of that with different supplements, and everybody's different. And this is a place where everybody's the same. I mean, everybody has the same in the sense that they have an auric field and they have
Yes.
that. And so, wow. Okay, we got some more good questions. Thank you, Jay Thought.
Yeah, they're great questions. Thank you.
Can you create protection fields? Can a protection field last a while? Does it need to be maintained? There's a bunch of questions here. Can you create the fields and fill them with the intention and
Yes.
attach them to people?
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting.
Anytime I place a person's photograph by that instrument, that's the energy field that they enjoy. That's a chakra balancing. 1 hour a day, that amount of energy going into the light bulb is the energy going into our chakras. So what's the point? For 1 hour a day, I correct a chakra imbalance. 1 hour a day through the chakra program, I can enhance our, if you will, our brain waves or our brain activity. How does that happen? That's a scalar wave. Take a look at that.
Wow, how
And
did you get it?
that's a time lapse photograph of a scalar wave, and that's the energy
Wow.
that's emanating from that instrument. Now, if I indeed can achieve that double helix, that's the energy that will correct our chakras. You with me?
Yes, that's fascinating.
So a double helix downloads itself into our chakras, into our brain waves. That double helix is being produced by the instrument right behind me and balancing our chakras and balancing our brain waves. I do that 1 hour a day. So it protects us against what I would call electromagnetic smog or electromagnetic consequences or stress, etc., etc. I balance my chakras every day by this method, and I feel it. I'm happier. My chakras are balanced. I have this feeling of happiness, contentment. I don't allow silly things get to me during the day. So it aligns me.
That's fantastic. Really, a lot of people need that kind of thing right now because so much is happening around people. It's hard for them to keep their chakras in balance, to keep their life in balance for that matter. And strength comes from our spirit. So if there's a way to strengthen that, that's a godsend, literally.
Thank you, Gail. Every day I'm in my laboratory performing this chakra balancing, balancing my 7 chakras. And because of that, right, I'm happy. I have very productive days. I can concentrate. I can focus. I separate the wheat from the chaff. Okay. And with all of this in mind, this is what I want to introduce to the world. Everybody can balance their chakras either through prayer or some type of mechanism as this. We have to start to go back to happiness. We have to live a normal, healthful lifestyle. I don't know what went wrong with mankind, where we went off the beaten path, but we've got to get back to nature.
Definitely. That is, I have used Tom. Okay, that sounds funny. So, Christine, do you remember Christine Nardassi?
Yes.
Nardassi?
Yes. Hi, Christine. Yes.
Cool.
Does she have a question?
Yeah, she doesn't have a question. She just said she used you.
Oh, yes. Hi,
So she's,
Christine.
yeah. I know that when a couple years ago, oh, this is good. Okay. She's validating your work. Okay. I've used Tom's system for a few months and it worked. I can actually say the same thing, but my experience was what, Tom, a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
It
Yes.
seems like it's been a while. Yeah. But anyway, it is something to, I mean, what better way to balance your chakras or to infuse your
Here's another
spirit with energy. Okay.
Here's another process that I've developed, and I want to explain this. Everything is energy, everything's intelligence. There's no, if you will, biological consequence. There's no physical manifestation here. It's always intelligence, energy. I'm going to hold up a photograph of the herpes virus. This has energy. Any photograph has energy. My photograph has energy, so does this photograph of the herpes virus. Now, when people come to me and they say, Tom, I have a problem. I have the herpes virus. This is the process that I use to nullify the signal of herpes. Okay? I never work biologically. I work at the auric level to negate the energy signal of herpes. This photograph of herpes can be found in my photograph. There's a signal of herpes that could be found in my photograph if I have herpes. Now, by placing these two photographs in the instrument, I can identify the herpes signal in me, and I can eradicate it with this instrument. I do that all the time. After I do that, people say I no longer have the symptoms of herpes. Now, is that possible? I think it is, at least in theory. By working at the level of divine intelligence, you can bring the herpes virus to a state of chaos, to a state of chaos in a, if you will, state of intellectual chaos, confusion.
Does it combust then?
I'm sorry, does it?
Would it combust then, more or less? I mean, because
I think it actually implodes. Now, I can't prove.
Oh, implodes.
I can't
Okay.
prove that, but I think if you take away its intelligence, it'll just disassemble and crumble up, implode. I've never seen that. You know, obviously you can't photograph this. It's just on a very small scale. But every time I work with people, they tell me, whatever you did, I no longer have the symptoms of herpes. So we can't explain this in a biological sense. This is not biology. But for whatever reason, by placing a photograph of the herpes virus inside the instrument, side by side my photograph, we can negate the signal of herpes.
Okay. Well, Christina is saying that she's going to contact you later and she wants to do it again. Have it done again. So that's pretty cool.
Just to let Christina know, in the past month, we've amplified this energy. Now the energy is more like that. That's a scalar.
Wow. How did you do that?
I had to engineer something on the instrument. And it's more like a laser focus now. Now,
wow.
I'm going to say this, and you have to take this as being the early testimonies. Some people are telling us who have worked with us with this new program over the past month that their skin tags and their warts are shrinking in size. Others who've had cancer are now in remission. Some people are telling us that their mind is much clearer, that their memory is enhanced. I could say that my digestion has improved and I don't have the back pain that I used to have. Why can I say that? Because the energy's been enhanced and we're sending out divine instructions, really strong and accurate divine instructions to improve soul, mind, and body. I only can prove that in my laboratory because I'm only working with photographs, but I have to rely upon people's attitude and their testimony. And this enhanced energy is improving the, if you will, the welfare of many people already.
Yes, well, sometimes you have to be careful how you say things to avoid any ridiculous problems. But anyway, I like this, precisely why healing is done through the individual per individual. With that divine intelligence, that's just awesome. Okay, Qfei, you might have missed it. We were talking about a cat that got healed. So she's asking if it could heal a dog. I assume it would heal anything, any sentient being, right, with an aura.
Yes. anything with an aura. Now, again, to be very clear, I work with photographs, only photographs of people and animals. Now, in so doing, it's not a biological process. I don't work with human or animal biology. I work at the higher level of intelligence. So I correct what I would call disease patterns by accessing a disease pattern or a disease signature in the quantum field through the photograph. Never working with a person or an animal. I work at the blueprint level, at the level of consciousness.
That's awesome.
Why is that so important? It's the cause. When you're working at the level of intelligence or consciousness, that is the cause of creation. And what if you will, manifests is always is held from cause to effect relationship. So I don't push the car, I drive the car. I drive the car, I drive the healing through intelligence. I don't rely upon biological consequences.
That's awesome. Oh, somebody's got, Jay Thought's got another question, and this was we kind of covered it a little bit already. She's saying, asking if NPCs have auras. Well, if they don't have a soul signature, I don't think they would. I don't. You answer it, Tom.
I believe all biological life has some type of aura or some type of energy field to it, and I've proven that because when I work with people or when I work with photographs of animals, I still can produce significant health benefits, if you will, to people and animals. At least this is what the reports that I'm receiving. So I do say that all biological life, even a fish, has some type of aura. I'll give it, for instance. In the past, I've received photographs of kangaroos in Australia, photographs of kangaroos. And the photographs showed some type of bacterial infection that these kangaroos had. After working with these photographs for 1 month, the kangaroo is now healthy. And according to the people in Australia, the kangaroo has no sign of bacterial infection. The kangaroo is returned to health. So that's a kangaroo halfway around the world in Australia. How did I do that? The energy did that. And if the energy can find, if you will, the signature of a kangaroo halfway around the world, then yes, it's valid.
I guess when I was thinking in terms of an NPC, I know that they actually, I've read this anyway. I can't verify it and say I've seen it and touched it and so on, that some NPCs are actually androids. So I don't know. So that would be they're not biological. So that would be a whole different ballgame.
That's a good point. It's not biological. That's a good point.
So here we go. Here's another great question from Jay Thought. Were MedBeds bogus? Is that tech meant to be reproduced naturally by the light worker?
I would say anybody has the ability to reproduce scalar energy. And as a matter of fact, it's common. Our minds, our feelings are scalar waves. When we think, when we feel, that's a scalar wave. So not only are we immersed in scalar energy from the sun and the stars, but we control scalar energy. Our mind, our feelings are the command house of scalar energy. Now that gives, if you will, by way of analogy, a great deal of weight to the fact that you should have positive thoughts and positive feelings. Those are scalar waves. If I can demonstrate that scalar energy is a double helix, I believe that energy is propagated from thinking, from our mind, or from prayer.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. And this gives people, now this should be very, if you will, common to people, because people speak about having good thoughts. Well, what's a good thought? It's a scalar wave. Many people say, let's look at nature and let's try and work hand in hand with nature. Well, this is nature. This is not a chemical. Chemicals are man-made. I never work with chemicals. And I don't have to worry about the chemical action. I work with energy, which is mistake-proof. It's a first principle. I always keep my work at that level of aura, or first principle.
That's awesome. We could look at, I've noticed you have a number of different programs. We could look at that page on your, why don't we open up your website, okay?
Okay, we'll do that, yep. Somebody's asked in chat about MedBeds. I don't know anything about MedBeds to answer that question. MedBeds are a term that I've heard bantered about. I've never seen one, so I don't know what to say about MedBeds right now.
They talk. Well, what's interesting about it, Tom, is when they talk about the MedBeds, they talk about them working on the blueprint of your body.
Yeah.
So it may be an advanced tech, not from here, from elsewhere, which is probably why you're the only person I know of that's working directly with scalar energy in this manner. So I don't know if the MedBeds are a version of that or what, and we haven't seen them. We keep hearing about them, but we haven't seen them, even though they say they're being used. They've been used on children and so on, but we shall see. We still don't really know. So she's saying here, QFA is saying, I guess all biological bodies have some amount of energy flowing beyond the body. Oh, yeah. How far out does our auric field go, Tom?
I've seen some people with Kirlian photography.
Oh, yeah.
That apparently will pick up the aura of a person. That's an aura of scalar energy. And I've seen some Kirlian photography where you can see this aura extending, 5 feet from the, if you will, that symmetry, that line of symmetry from a person's spine. So from what I've seen, and if that is by naked eye observation to be accurate, then I'd say an aura can extend 5 feet from a person.
Well, I'm trying to stay on this page here. Sure. Go down. Here's your lab and your equipment. I don't mean to scroll too fast.
That's okay. So with this energy, I've discovered many techniques because it is quite versatile. For instance, I've discovered a technique in which I can take photographs of, say, amino acids. Here's arginine, and I could actually place this photograph side by side my photograph inside the instrument. So what's the point? I can take the energy from an amino acid and then download it into me energetically. This is how I achieve my amino acids every day. I don't take amino acids. I don't, if you will, ingest amino acids. I'm not against that. But my point is, when I can take on this amino acid energetically, I don't have to worry about biological consequences. This is not biology. I never work with people or animals. I exhibit, if you will, a force field on that photograph, and then I can enhance that force field and then send it into me. So the energy is exhibited, the energy presents itself on the photograph. I capture that force field and send it into my photograph.
QFA is asking, is scalar energy the same as etheric energy?
Yes. Those are synonymous terms. Yes.
Okay. Now, I wanted to show some of that. You have a variety of programs, but as soon as I take my mouse off that page, it goes away. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the humanitarian efforts that you've engaged in Africa and so on?
Okay, thank you so much. So we're all about helping people. This is a healing ministry, and we glorify God, people. And to be very clear with your audience, I don't work with government, big business, academia, or the media, because it's hard to find it's hard to find government, businesses, academia, people in the media that I can trust. Okay, so with that out of the way, it's a grassroots movement. That's why I'm saying this. This is grassroots. And we rely upon people around the world to help us, to work with us hand in hand. We have been working, I'm going to go through this report. I have a report in front of me. This is a report from people in Tanzania. At one time, they were HIV positive. These photographs that I'm showing, everybody that's photographed at one time was HIV positive. Now, doing pro bono work in Tanzania, it's free. We received these photographs from people in Tanzania, and I have the ability to locate the HIV virus on their photograph and eradicate it, bring it to a state of chaos. And we've had great success. We've worked with entire villages in Tanzania or other places around the world in which we're able to eradicate the HIV virus that we find on a person's photograph. It's very promising. And our website speaks of our humanitarian efforts around the world. So where are we going with this? Well, these instruments can work with millions of photographs in a day, in one day.
Do you know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just thought of something, Tom. I know that there are a lot of people, because of this, that are manifesting HIV symptoms or whatever, like our military, for example, who were forced to do something even if they didn't want to.
Correct.
And they're having that aspect turn up in their biological self. And this would actually be something where a whole group of them could be healed.
Yes, thank you. That's why I want to work with millions of photographs a year. This is the easy way, people. You don't visit a laboratory. This is not hospital work. We're not at the biological level. We're at the etheric level, and we only work with photographs that have a blueprint. So you could see how this is going to be easy. This will be the healing of the world through photographs at the auric level, at the level of intelligence.
Wow, which gives the biological level the ability and the energy to do what it needs to do. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
so
thank you. I'm going to make this distinction. Now, in all fairness, when you drive a car, you're in command of a car. That's the level of intelligence. Okay, you have the intelligence. You can, with your intellect, you can maneuver the car. Now, when you're stupid and you don't command that car, then you have to push the car. That's not the intelligent way to drive a car. So when I'm working with scalar energy, I'm in command. I am in command of the level of intelligence. I'm not pushing the car at the chemical level. So with all due respect, why don't we work at the level of intelligence? It's so much easier. Why do we push the car?
It makes so much more sense. I mean, and it doesn't, so many of the drugs, and I mean prescription drugs as well, destroy enzyme systems within the body. And here we have a totally different way of managing problems, biological problems, by working on the etheric field and improving its ability. Because I happen to know that there are people that when they take pictures of their auras, they have brown spots, or they have different characteristics which are not considered a good thing. It means there's stuff that they have to work on or whatever. And here is an ability to correct that through divine intelligence, and I don't think there's any better intelligence than that.
Yes, thank you. And I want to drive home that point. I want to inculcate these theories, the way my research has been so fruitful. How is it that I can have such great results that people around the world can send me a PCR test like this? I've never met these people, but according to this person, after I work with them, they don't have any viral load for HIV. How's that possible? It's only possible when you're working at the etheric level, at the level of intelligence, in which you're in command of nature. You're driving the car. This is so promising, people. This is what Tesla envisioned. Wireless communication, working with the ether, working hand in hand with scalar light, or what he called radiant energy, and no longer having to be, if you will, relegated to the chemical level. This is the future.
This is, oh, I missed it. Let's see. Christina said, I did not know Tom would be on, and I'm so glad. I needed scalar energy, and here it is. It was meant to be. Last night I saw a program with you, Jenny, and SGN on. Anyway, what I was getting at is, I believe she was divinely inspired to tune in because of what was being, that's just my opinion. But I think it's true. Some things like that happen, they happen for a reason. And Okay, now I wanted to go to the page with all the different programs and we could talk about that a little bit. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now I kind of have to stay on the program. Now we were talking, when you're talking about the chakra balancing, you're talking about
Yes,
standard scalar. Is that correct?
that's correct. That's standard scalar. By the way, we offer 15 days of free sessions on our website. That includes a standard scalar session. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you have
Okay.
I want to know about each one of these programs. You have a natural foods program. How does that work?
Yeah. Okay. So follow me. Everything is energy.
Okay.
This is the photograph of tomato. If I wanted the natural foods program, I would submit my photograph and then I would take photographs of natural foods and download them into me. The energy of tomato will be downloaded into my photograph, all through the auric level, all through intelligence. Again, there's no chemicals involved, so you cannot have an allergic reaction to a tomato. This is natural foods. This is how I receive my nutrition every day, not through a chemical process, but through the auric level, through intelligence, through a photograph.
That's amazing because I think that's a great way to get all to get what you really need. That's amazing. And does it affect your appetite?
It does. That's an excellent question. When I'm downloading tomatoes or spinach into me, I usually miss one meal a day. I'm not hungry.
Huh.
I only had one meal today, and I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry whatsoever. I'm a pretty big guy. I'm about 6'5".
Oh wow!
So
I didn't know you were that tall.
What's
tall.
What's the point here? I can suppress my appetite. These programs working energetically will trigger something in a person.
Wow.
Many people say they can miss one meal a day because, if you will, on the standard program, we're downloading, that's riboflavin, into a person, or the natural foods program, we're constantly downloading, if you will, tomatoes and spinach into a person, always through their auric field, always through their photograph. This is the new science, people. We don't have to worry about the chemical level. Frankly, in many cases, the chemical level is obsolete. We're working at the level of intelligence in which we can vision at the level of intelligence.
This is amazing. What about endorphin and neurotransmitters? How do you do that one?
That's a great question. So I likewise have photographs of endorphins and neurotransmitters.
Okay.
Download. Good question. I can download endorphins and neurotransmitters into a person. Here's a photograph of gamma endorphin. If I wanted to receive that energy, I would simply place my photograph in the instrument with gamma endorphin. And I would receive the energy of the endorphin into my quantum field. When I treat myself with endorphins, I have a lot of zest. It really picks me up and it makes me happier. This is the endorphin program, the neurotransmitter and endorphin program. And it works. And people tell me it works because the energy of the endorphin, the neurotransmitter, is being sent into my energy field. Energy acts upon energy.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you, are you able to combine programs?
Yes, I'm treating as we speak for 7 different programs right now. I'm on all of the programs with the exception of female hormones.
No wonder you look so vibrant.
I'll speak for myself. I'm 64 years of age. Mm-hmm. And to your audience, I have no medical problems. I'm not on any drugs. I have a zest for life. I'm never in pain. I am 64 years of age and healthy, people. So I'll let you explain why you might think somebody my age is so healthy without one health complication.
That's awesome. Okay, let's see. I have another question here, even though we're going to go back to the programs in a minute, but maybe you might want to tackle this question. What kind of quality of photo do you require? Will a super high quality photo of the target be as effective as an old janky photo? Shaky. I never heard that word before.
A JPEG. It might be
Okay.
in JPEG. To answer
Oh,
the question,
yeah. Okay.
any type of photograph will do. What am I getting at? My photograph, this is an emailed photograph, has my force field, my energy field. Whether it's a Polaroid from 30 years ago or a JPEG today by way of email, energy is the key. And it doesn't even have to be in focus because my energy field is recognized by the source energy, by the divine intelligence. So good question. Any type of photograph will do, but make sure it's a photograph. Make sure it's not a computer rendition.
Here's something Tim Potter brought up: is much of the food has been messed with by, we got GMO type food and all that kind of stuff, and which isn't healthy for the biological body. So
Correct.
The
That
scalar.
was the afflatus of going after food and using food energetically at the level of consciousness. That's how I receive my tomatoes. This is how I receive my spinach. This is how I receive the energy of peach. That's how I receive my watermelon. This is how I
love
receive
watermelon.
my lettuce. This is energetically how I receive cauliflower. The Natural Foods program is operating 24 hours a day. It gives me the energy of all the phytochemicals found in cauliflower. That's why I'm healthy, people. I don't work at the chemical level. I work at the level of intelligence where nothing can go wrong.
That's awesome. Okay, we have another question. Okay, some photos are photoshopped. If you have a photoshopped photo of a person doing a flip, can you project that skill onto the person if they have never acquired it in their life?
That's a good point.
Wow.
I would like to do that in the future. In other words, to take this energy of divine intelligence and to impart a skill, or to impart, say, the gift of language, or to impart some type of mental process. I think that's possible. I just haven't learned enough about the energy. But if this is divine intelligence, and I say it is, I say that in the future we'll be able to learn by scalar energy. It will be our teacher.
Okay. Okay. Somebody's asking. Here's good. Have you put a picture of yourself at 20? Could you receive reverse aging? I don't think it works that way, but
I've tried that. I've not been able to reverse my aging process, but I have been able to improve my current condition. Again, I'm 64 years of age. People, I have no health complications. None. Zippo.
That's awesome. Okay. Here's Jay Thoughts. Another question. Does celibacy retain the energy need to be successful with this?
Can you repeat that question? I'm sorry.
Does celibacy retain the energy need to be successful with this?
No, I have people who are celibate and people who have active sex lives. You do not have to be celibate. I want to make this clear. This energy is from the sun and the stars. And regardless of your station in life, this energy is everywhere. So regardless of who you are, what your occupation, your age, whether you're sexually active or not, scalar energy, the energy of the sun and the stars, will always have a fundamental import. We're working at the level of divine intelligence. You cannot stop divine intelligence. And I'm going to show an example of what I mean. Nothing can impede this energy. This is a wooden board I'm holding up. If I place this wooden board close to the instrument, it will block the energy coming from the Tesla coil. I take my light bulb, and it still illuminates.
So there's nothing that can block it.
Board, exactly. The wooden board cannot block the energy.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, let's go back to the programs for a minute, because there's some questions I have on some of the different programs you had, because they're so cool. Where did they go? Oh, here. Okay, the next one, specific needs, fat metabolism program. And may I be safe to say that you have testimonials from people from all these different programs?
Yes, we do. We have probably close to 2,000 testimonies. And that's the key. And I'm glad you bring that up. People, nobody's ever duplicated my work. And secondly, this is a new science in which you cannot prove that a photograph is receiving energy. It's still theory. It's quantum theory. Okay. So how do I prove it? I can't. Only the testimonies can speak to this. That's a good point.
Good. Okay. So you have a fat metabolism program, and people have lost weight.
Yes, they have. Yes. Now, to be clear, it's not a weight loss program. It sends energy of enzymes, energy of various hormones into the person's aura, not a biological process. When we send those energetic enzymes into a person, their appetite is suppressed, or in some way that seems to aid their digestion. Can I prove that? No, because this is the new science in which we're not working with chemicals, we're working with information. But the upshot, the results are people lose weight. And that's why we call it fat metabolism.
Awesome. So here's another one. And I noticed when I look, this is one of them. I don't know if it's more intense or what, but it is more expensive. What have you, what does this program entail? It must be a lot.
Yeah, it is. I use photographs, various photographs of chemicals, of sometimes of even recreational drugs. And I'm sending the energy into the aura, and I'm asking the divine intelligence to negate what I would say would be heroin, to negate the desire for alcohol, to negate many of these petrochemicals that we find ourselves assaulted by, to negate pesticides.
Ooh.
Now, that's quite successful when I work through this program, okay, because it's at the energetic level in which we can negate the intelligence of recreational drugs. We can negate the intelligence to desire a lot of alcohol. We can negate the intelligence of Roundup.
Oh, wow.
We can negate the intelligence of certain types of chemicals. Yes, we can negate the intelligence of glyphosate.
Well, that is awesome, because that is something that may actually affect people's weight as well, because the glyphosate, ever since it was introduced, you saw the rates of obesity and the rates of type 2 diabetes skyrocket.
Cancer.
So that is a very bad substance.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. This is the future, people. The future is in this Tesla energy, this wireless Tesla energy. It's so much easier to work at the etheric level, at the level of intelligence, and it's so much more effective. And I know many people they've had it up. They're really dismayed about the chemical environment that we live in. Well, this is chemical free. This is drug free. I can guarantee you. I've never administered a drug in my life with this instrument. It's impossible. You cannot administer drugs or any type of physical healing to a photograph. So we're working in a new branch of physics, and I make that very clear. My study is a new and emerging branch of physics. This is not electricity. This is quantum energy.
That's awesome. And I always like drug-free, because I know the problems that drug cause, whether it's recreational or prescription, it doesn't matter. Prescription drugs are just as bad.
You're right.
Digestive enzymes. So now, would people with things like Crohn's or irritable bowel syndrome, or would that be the type of person that might be interested in this type of program? Or
yes. Yes, we've had marginal success with Crohn's.
Oh, okay.
I am unveiling this new program in which I believe we will be able to make inroads, success with conditions we've never been able to access before. So let's see how things develop this year. And then maybe later this year, Gail, have me back, and I could speak by way of testimony where we're
that's
going.
interesting. I wonder if endothelial cell improvement would be something that would help with, because I know the digestive tract is pretty tore up.
Yes, that's what I hope. And when we keep it at the energetic level of divine intelligence, I hope that we're going to be able to address these issues. I can't promise that.
So keeps going away if I move it the wrong place. So next one, let's go over the amino acid and protein program. So now that would provide you with the amino acids, and protein is just a bunch of amino acids hooked together. So
all essential and non-essential amino acids. And again, what do? I take photographs of amino acids and I place them in the quantum field with me. Okay, arginine. Okay, arginine placed in my quantum field. So what does that mean? The energy, not the chemical, the energy of arginine is going into my blueprint, into my quantum field. This is how I achieve my protein. I never take a protein shake. Now, what is the upshot? People tell me that their fingernails are stronger. They have a fuller body of hair. Their complexion improves. Many people say they no longer have arthritic pain. How is that possible? Well, receiving the energy of nutrients should in some way improve a person's disposition. Their soul, mind, and body should be enhanced by the energy of arginine. Now, it's groundbreaking research. Again, my research has never been duplicated, but the 2,000 testimonies on my website point to that. Something favorable is happening.
Well, aren't you the only one that has this technology that is using it in this manner? Nobody else has it?
That's correct. That's correct. To be clear to your audience, Gail, this instrument is custom built. These are unique instruments. And nobody's ever followed in my footsteps. Nobody's ever wanted to take the time to do this. This has been 50 years of my work, 50 years of my life. So the point is my work is unique. And with that, I have unique results.
That's awesome. Now, I'm going to have to ask this question in these next two, the female and male hormone program. What came to mind when I first saw this, I'm going, okay, we have such gender dysphoria going on. I can't help but wonder if someone that's in a male body that thinks they're female, I have to wonder if something like this would be helpful. You would go ahead.
I'm on the program myself for male hormones, and I treat myself every day for male hormones, including testosterone. And this has helped me. This has helped my vitality. I'm stronger because of it. And I would say it works for me. And many people say it's worked for them. For instance, some women go on it and they say, well, the fact that we can download female hormones, that they feel better, or they don't have night sweats, or that they're not as moody. Okay. Well, that's all fine and dandy. I mean, that's what I would expect. Here, this is a photograph of estradiol. And when I would download that into a woman, okay, they're receiving the energy of estradiol. Now, does it help? Well, according to our testimonies, yes. Many people say it's been of great benefit to them.
Cool. Let me go back to that again. Where'd it go there? All right. So we have the male or female hormone program could be very helpful for, especially as we get older, because our hormone levels go down. And so the energetics from it would probably be very helpful. And who knows, it may be of some benefit with gender dysphoria too. I can't move away from there. Now, the last one is, I found this rather interesting, mineral and precious stone. You want to tell us more about that?
Yeah. Okay, good point. So why did I come out with that program? The minerals are of the earth, and as well as the precious stones, but the minerals are going to be working to enhance what I would consider our energetic self on the physical plane, whereas the precious stones are for the benefit psychically, or if you will, to benefit us in a spiritual capacity. So they're both stones, right? The minerals, the lower level, the precious stones, the higher level. Now, with all of that in mind, it serves to be sound nutrition for our physical and our spiritual well-being energetically. And that's why I pair these two together. Yes, they're both stones. The minerals for the physical, the precious stones for the spiritual or the intellectual.
Amazing. Absolutely. Yeah, you've expanded your program since we've talked last. Certainly is awesome.
And we're always moving forward. Thank you for recognizing that. We're always moving forward. The possibilities here, people, are endless. You can, you know, energy has millions of applications and billions and trillions of permutations.
And you have bundle discounts too, apparently. I didn't
Yes,
get a
we
chance to
do.
look at that.
Yeah, no problem.
I just think the most important part is getting the information that this is available out there. Sure.
It's slowly getting out there. I appreciate your time, Gail. You realize that this is new and groundbreaking.
Yes.
And my contention is the day is coming where we can work with 1 billion photographs a year and improve the psychic ability, improve the energetic ability through a person's photograph. Now, this is taking it from the level of chemical to the higher level of intelligence, in which many people who are working at the chemical level, their work will be obsolete. I'm going to repeat that. The intellectual level, the level of intelligence, makes obsolete the chemical level. Now, you can extrapolate from that what you want. But the point is this. My work will serve to change, and the work of any other scalar energy researcher will serve to change the course of history.
Well,
scalar energy will change the social order.
And they've already said that, you know, this is interesting because you may have the MedBed technology ahead of of you know what they're talking about, because it sounds so much similar, because they talk about working with the original blueprint of the body, which is what you're doing.
That's what this is. I'm going back to source. Again, there's no human reasoning. This instrument is broadcasting that double helix. If we could use Kirlian photography, we would see this double helix emanating from this instrument. Okay, that is the perfection. That's the blueprint. Go back to the cause. Go back to intelligence. The chemical level is the effect. We don't want that. Go to the cause of intelligence. That's the blueprint.
That's awesome. That is really cool. Well, the chemical level is showing all kinds of problems. I mean, let's face it, not only does it destroy enzyme systems, people overdose, have allergic reactions, have any number of problems related to that. Whereas with this, not only do you not have to be there physically, which is a big benefit, because you can go to the greatest clinic in the world can be a couple thousand miles away, and there's no way that you can afford to get there, that kind of thing. So it's really cool.
Thank you so much. You know, this changes, scalar energy will change the way we live. Now, keep in mind, if I can illuminate a light bulb in my laboratory, the day is coming I will be able to illuminate a light bulb around the world, or 1 million light bulbs. This is free energy. This is what Tesla envisioned. We're going into the realm of free energy.
That is, Spirit just told me what you're saying is absolutely true, because I just got goosebumps all over. Anyway, wow. Here's just saying something again. So let's see what she has to say this time. Is there a scalar wave emitted from the root chakra traveling downward opposite to this wave traveling upward?
When I impart this energy, it's all knowing. There's no human interpretation. So to answer your question, everything will be addressed. What's my point? Let me line this up again. Look at the chakras. What is a chakra? It's a spinning point of light. What is scalar energy? Spinning light. So the 7 chakras are spinning vortices. Scalar energy is a spinning vortice. You don't tell the energy how to work. It does what it needs to do on the 7 chakras in ratio and proportion as needed.
Wow.
Okay? So to the extent that we need to balance our chakras, and to what proportion, that's all inbuilt in the scalar wave. It's mistake proof. I'll underline that. My work is mistake proof, foolproof. Why? The energy, divine intelligence, imparts upon the chakras. There's no human interpretation.
Cool. Let's see, I know I put, Okay, this one, I need to put this up again. 15, because somebody is saying, okay, what does it cost down here? For the last
But
question.
okay, I'll explain everything. Everything we want to start off everybody for free. 15 days of free session on the website. Make sure you feel comfortable. After 15 days, you make a decision, and then if you like what we're doing, on our specials, go to our specials page. We have an $89 a month special. You can use that as long as you want. We've made it very fair and very affordable.
There we go. That and 15 days for. So there are some things that are free, just to demonstrate to you
Yes.
the value of it.
You can send your entire family in. You can send in, with their permission, send in your family photographs, include your pets. No questions asked. We treat you for free for 15 days. We want to prove this. How do I prove it? By working with you for free.
Yeah, well, Tim says again, bodies work great till we become poorly. But, so I would encourage everyone to, if you could get 15 days for free, I would certainly encourage you to give it a try and see what it does for you. Now, is that the standard scalar one for free?
Yes, that's a standard scale. Yeah, when people sign up for the 15-day free session, they're going to receive the chakra balancing for 1 hour. For the second hour of the day, we cleanse the body. We cleanse the auric field of germs, microbes. And for the remaining part of the day, we're going to download vitamins and minerals. So the instrument is on, working 24 hours a day. Yes.
So they get all that in those 15 days?
Correct.
That's a lot.
Every day, 24 hours a day, we're treating for chakras. We're eliminating the microbes and toxins. And the third modality, throughout the day, we're downloading nutrients. 15 days without cessation, we treat people. We treat their auric field for 15 days without stopping.
That's awesome. Lenny is telling QFA to send a picture of her puppy. Why is her puppy sick?
We've had good success with animals. And the reason I say that is animals are uncomplicated and they accept the healing. They don't question. As I mentioned, I've worked with kangaroos in Australia, and the kangaroos recovered very quickly.
Yeah, because a person can actually obstruct their healing by disbelief to some extent, and their doubt,
or at least slowing it down.
Yeah,
exactly.
I would think. I don't know. I have no way to prove that either. It's just kind of a something that I think. Well, does anyone else have any other questions in the audience? Is there anything else we should cover, Tom?
No, that's good for now. Let's see how people feel. And if with this new enhanced program, if they feel great, bring me back later this year. I'm all about results. I want people to feel better.
Oh, okay. QFA has a Poppy. He's a senior dog. I assume, I thought she said puppy, but Poppy, I guess, is the name of the dog, and he's 13 years old. So take a picture of yourself and your dog and let Tom treat it.
Yes.
Oh, now she's asking about immortality. I don't know about that, but from Scalar Energy.
That's a good question. Here's the point. If we all lived in a perfect scalar energy force field, there is no time in scalar energy. If we could live in this perfect scalar energy force field, we would not advance in age. We would be timeless. Essentially, we would be immortal.
Well, with I shouldn't say any luck, with any divine intervention, we are supposed to be going to that.
Yeah, let's hope.
Let's envision that.
Yeah, what's the point of my work? The point of my work is to help people. I think scalar energy is a tool that will help mankind. That's why I've devoted my life to this. This type of technology will help the world.
I agree with you, and that's why I'm delighted to have you back on, because I see the advancement and the additional programs and the many testimonials, people. So if you want to know about any of those programs, go and look at all the testimonials that Tom has on his site, and then decide what you want to do. But I definitely take advantage of the 2 weeks free. What more could you ask for? So,
Thank you.
alrighty then. I guess that we can call it a wrap. And what I'll do, Tom, is I'll be playing this again. Sometimes I do a playlist, and I'll play it again, and hopefully more people will pick up on it. I think it's a wonderful service. I enjoyed it immensely when I could tell a difference from before, and so could my son from years ago. So anyway, I might have to talk to you about that. So thank you so much for your time and energy and your awesome, wonderful research. No one else on the planet is doing this, and it's really to your advantage to know about it, and it's to your advantage to take advantage of a free 2-week session. So thank you everyone for being here, and
God bless her.
and I'll have
Thank you.
Tom back again after a while when he has some additional things that he wants to share. So thank you everyone. I'll see you again soon. Bye.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now, don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors.